America is home to bustling cities, economic hubs, and thriving communities. However, almost half of the country remains surprisingly empty. Certain states are seeing their populations shrink year after year, as residents pack up and move elsewhere. While some states face extreme weather, others struggle with economic downturns, infrastructure issues, and even social and cultural shifts. Which states are experiencing the fastest population declines? Let's dive into the truth behind these shrinking states, uncovering some surprising reasons behind the mass exodus. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest deep dives. Let's jump right in. Number 10. North Dakota. The cold chases people away. North Dakota is known for its oil boom, open landscapes, and harsh winters. But beyond the cold temperatures, often plunging below -40°F, there's another issue. Despite economic growth in the Bakken oil fields, the state lost over 4,000 residents in 2023. A surprising reason for this decline is North Dakota's severe worker shortage, with industries like healthcare and construction struggling to fill vacancies. What's more, rural areas face a growing brain drain, with only 18% of college graduates choosing to stay. Add to that a severe housing shortage, especially for low-income residents, and the fact that North Dakota ranks low in cultural and entertainment offerings, making it less appealing for younger generations. And it's easy to see why people are leaving. Number 9. West Virginia. A coal giant in decline. Once the heart of the U.S. coal industry, West Virginia is now struggling with a shrinking population. The state lost more than 18,000 residents between 2022 and 2023, continuing a downward trend driven by the decline of coal mining. But it's not just about job loss. West Virginia also faces a severe opioid addiction crisis. The state has one of the highest overdose death rates in the U.S., and the opioid epidemic has placed immense pressure on an already overburdened healthcare system. What many don't know is that West Virginia has an aging population, with nearly 20% of residents being over the age of 65. The state's healthcare system is woefully underfunded, particularly in rural areas, and many young graduates are leaving due to limited career opportunities. Despite its natural beauty, these hidden challenges are driving residents away. Number 8. Wyoming. The empty state. Wyoming is the least populated state in America, and it's getting emptier. In 2023 alone, the state lost over 3,000 residents. Wyoming's economy is heavily reliant on tourism, ranching, and energy production, which leaves little room for young professionals seeking diverse job options. But there's something that's often overlooked. Wyoming has one of the highest suicide rates in the U.S. Mental health access is scarce, especially in rural areas, and the state's isolation can take a toll on its residents. Furthermore, many Native American reservations in Wyoming face extreme poverty, with unemployment rates as high as 80%. Despite its breathtaking natural beauty, Wyoming remains one of the hardest states to live in for many. Number 7. Maine. A state getting older. Maine is known for its picturesque coastlines and quaint towns, but it's also one of the fastest aging states in the U.S. The state's median age is 45, and it has one of the highest proportions of elderly residents. As younger generations leave in search of job opportunities, the state is facing a severe healthcare crisis. Rural hospitals are closing at alarming rates, leaving many without access to medical care, especially in the winter months. What's not often mentioned is that Maine's rural areas also suffer from poor internet connectivity, making remote work and modern business growth nearly impossible. Without an influx of younger workers, Maine's population is expected to continue its decline. Number 6. South Dakota, struggling to keep people. South Dakota, home to Mount Rushmore, has also seen its population shrink. In 2023, over 5,200 residents left the state, with many citing limited job diversity as a primary reason. Agriculture and tourism dominate the job market, but career options outside of these industries are scarce. One unexpected issue is South Dakota's teacher retention problem. The state has one of the worst teacher retention rates in the country, driven by low wages and underfunding for schools. The state also struggles with a high rate of methamphetamine addiction, contributing to increased crime in certain areas. While South Dakota boasts a low cost of living, these hidden challenges are pushing people to leave in search of better opportunities. Number 5. Montana, the housing crisis state. Montana's stunning landscapes are famous, but they're not enough to keep people from leaving. The state lost nearly 6,500 residents in 2023, driven in part by the soaring cost of housing. Home prices in Montana have increased by 20% in recent years, pushing many locals out of the market. Adding to this issue is the fact that Montana is seeing an influx of out-of-state investors purchasing properties, driving prices higher and further exacerbating the housing crisis. Additionally, Montana's vulnerability to wildfires is becoming a significant concern. With wildfire risks increasing, residents face not only the threat of evacuation, but also skyrocketing insurance costs. These factors are combining to drive people away. Number 4. Alaska, the harshest place to live? Alaska, the largest state in the U.S., is also seeing its population steadily shrink. In 2023, over 5,000 residents left, continuing a trend of out-migration. One of the biggest challenges is the high cost of living. Groceries, housing, and gas are significantly more expensive due to Alaska's remote location. But beyond the cost, Alaska faces a growing crime problem, particularly in rural areas. Law enforcement is scarce in many regions, and crime has been rising. Another unexpected factor is Alaska's food insecurity. High transportation costs make food expensive, and many remote communities rely on emergency food programs. Despite its natural beauty, these harsh living conditions are causing many to leave in search of better prospects elsewhere. Number 3. New Mexico, the struggling state. New Mexico's struggles with poverty and unemployment are well known, but there's a lesser discussed factor that's contributing to its population loss: water scarcity. The state's droughts have been exacerbated by climate change, with the Rio Grande shrinking and farmers facing increasingly difficult conditions. The state also suffers from a major crime problem, particularly in Albuquerque, where property crime has spiked in recent years. But what isn't often mentioned is that New Mexico's public infrastructure, including its water management systems, is severely underfunded, contributing to the growing exodus from the state. With rising living costs and increasing environmental challenges, many residents are seeking stability elsewhere. Number 2. Illinois, the land of decline. Illinois is losing residents, with many pointing to high taxes and rising crime rates, particularly in Chicago. However, one factor that's often overlooked is the state's growing racial and economic segregation. Chicago, in particular, has seen a widening gap between its wealthy north side and struggling south and west sides. The systemic issues with poverty and racial inequality are driving many residents to leave in search of better opportunities in more integrated areas. Additionally, Illinois' infrastructure is crumbling. Its roads, bridges, and public transportation systems are outdated and in desperate need of investment. These long-term challenges are pushing residents to move to states with more robust economies and infrastructure. Number 1. Louisiana, the climate crisis state. Louisiana's ongoing struggles with climate change are perhaps the most significant factors behind its population decline. Rising sea levels, more frequent hurricanes, and extreme weather events have caused massive property damage and made living conditions increasingly difficult. But a lesser-known issue contributing to the population loss is the exodus of Black residents, driven by rising housing costs and gentrification in cities like New Orleans. Louisiana also has one of the highest rates of income inequality in the country, with the wealth gap between Black and white residents continuing to grow. Coupled with an underfunded public education system, these disparities are pushing many to leave for states with more opportunities and better living conditions. The reasons for population decline in these 10 states are complex, with a combination of economic, environmental, and social factors driving residents to look elsewhere. From climate change and housing crises to mental health challenges and lack of opportunity, these states face significant hurdles. If current trends continue, it's likely these states will continue to see their populations dwindle in the coming years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on these states. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next video.